Alright there YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today we're back with my 1978 a64 wheel loader. Today's video, I'm going to try to repack this lift cylinder that's been leaking quite a bit. Basically I'm using the bucket to make my own prop rod here, and my plan, I think this chrome looks like it's okay to me. Is it perfect? No. But there's no major pitting or anything in it. Some light scratches in it, but really I think that looks pretty good. I think all we really need to do is just repack this cylinder with seals, and I think that that's going to do just fine. Now before I get too carried away here, my plan is going to be to pull this cylinder apart right on the machine. Leave this end on the machine the entire time. Or pull this pin out, drop this down, and just pull all the guts right out of the cylinder. But before I get too carried away, I want to make sure I can even just get this packing nut loose. They do make a special tool for these that I don't have, so we're just going to use a punch and a hammer and see if we can get this thing to move. Oh yeah, we're going to get that. Okay. Of course, this thing's probably going to splooge oil everywhere when I take this apart. You know, let me put a bigger catch can under here. Bad mother. Okay, so we got the rod out of the cylinder and splooged myself. See, some of these O-rings aren't looking so hot, but this end is really the end that I'm concerned about. But to get this off, we got to take this big nut off, and then this packing ring here will come off, and then this will all slide off of this end. So see about finding a socket. Alright, so it's next morning here now, and as you can see, I've already got the rod end assembled and on the rod. They had the V-band pack for this one in stock. Had to order the V-band pack for the gland end here, and they were able to have it the next morning. So we got new V-band pack here. Basically show you how this works. So you'll notice that the thickest band is away from the fluid pressure, and then you have multiple packs, and then you have another backer on the other end. So this is the pack that came out of the rod end here. So you see this backer faces away from the fluid pressure, and then all of these are in a V shape. That's why it's called the V-band pack, and that sits in there like that. When hydraulic pressure pushes against this, it's actually going to try to expand that out and make it seal even tighter. So you have multiple bands in the pack, and then you have another thicker backer here. So that's basically how the pack assembles there. And then on this end, because this is a double acting cylinder, we have two packs. One will face each direction. So when you have hydraulic pressure on the backside, which would be forcing the rod out, you have a V-band pack that's facing that way. And when you're putting pressure on this side, which would come through this port here, you have pressure pushing that way. So then that would be this V-band pack here, and then that seals that direction. So you have two packs. You have one that seals this way, one that seals that way. So I'm going to go ahead and split this pack here like this. We'll go ahead and do this side first. Just going to pull all these off. I'm going to set them to the side exactly in the position that we're working on it here, just so I don't forget. I mean, I can double check, but we got an O-ring here. Now we're going to go ahead and clean this up. The new O-ring goes there. And then the separator plate can just sit right on top, just like so. And then we just got to do the same thing to this pack here. And I screwed up and installed these backwards. You can see that both sets here are facing that direction. I need to flip this set over. Okay, so now that I've flipped this pack over the right direction, so that we got them going both directions here now, go ahead and start installing these on the cylinder. Take this pack first. You can see how these lips are facing this way against the fluid pressure going that way. Sure we get our O-ring in there. Followed by our separator plate. Followed by another O-ring. Followed by our other pack, just like so. And we can put our nut and washer on there. Now you can tell that somebody who's not a professional has been in this cylinder. Not that I'm a professional either, but I don't use a pipe wrench on stuff like this. 2 1/4 inch socket. Somebody's obviously marred these up with a pipe wrench. Don't use a pipe wrench on stuff like this. Get the right socket. Now we got the fun part, trying to jam this back in here. You want to be careful, go slow, sometimes kind of twisting or turning on this just a little bit helps. Just going to try to work those seals in there nice and easy. You don't want to go forcing on this and tear one of your brand new seals. Oh, we're almost in. Whew. We're in. Okay. Alright, so if it looks like I'm huffing and puffing a little bit, that's because this is about my third try trying to get this rod into the right position to drive my pen back in. And this stuff is heavy. Basically, I've got the hydraulic lines cracked loose so that it's not like airlocked, but kind of pull it down. It takes some effort, but you can push the rod in or pull it out, and then I got to lift it back up in place and try to line it back up to this pin. I'm not sure if I got it yet, but I should be pretty darn close. But this stuff is heavy, and this is a workout. I think that's it. Oh. Oh, got it in there. With any luck, my bolt hole should be lined up. And it's not. Dang it. Okay. Well. Close. Right there should do it. That's not the bolt. Now just find what I did with that bolt. Yeah, that seems dry as a bone. Okay, so this machine was already low on hydraulic oil before I even did this repair. and definitely lost a few gallons. And now that's dry, so it might actually keep some hydraulic oil in it. So let's go ahead and top this off. No, wasn't too bad, but these hydraulic systems on this heavier equipment typically are pressurized, so you want to be aware of that. So let's go ahead and get this thing filled up. Alright, so it's a few days later here now, and that cylinder is staying dry as a bone, which means I can do a customer job with this without being worried that the entire parking lot's going to be all the colors of the rainbow when we're done. So I'm not crazy about taking old red out in these conditions, but we're going to go haul this over to a job. Should be a fairly quick job, but we're going to go take this over there and get it done. I suppose I probably should have started filming a little bit before I started, but basically this here is a lot that my buddy plows, and he just plows with pickup plows, so he can't really stack the snow very high, and they're really running out of room here. So I'm coming in here basically to get all this snow pushed back and piled as high as we possibly can. Ah, there we go. It took about 2 parking spots and turned it into about 1, 2, 3, about 5 or 6. Pushed back by there. Got that all stacked up. Yeah, I think that's going to be a lot better for these guys. They got some more room for some snow. Okay, so here we are actually a couple weeks later. I don't know if I showed exactly what we did here very well, but basically this entire side of the parking lot was a snow pile. They had 1 parking spot left down over here, and basically we pushed all that snow up into one big giant pile and opened up probably 5 parking spots in here and made a lot of room. Now, skid steer would have really struggled, especially back in here. You know, that snow that fell probably in November or December, you know, so it's extremely hard, frozen, hard packed, basically ice there. And we were able to dig back through that no problem, and dug a little bit out of this corner, probably opened up another spot there and another spot there, and really opened this parking lot up quite a bit. Now, they had originally called me about hauling the snow out, and when I looked at it and seen that basically this whole side was just, you know, about 4 feet high all the way across, it's like, you know, I don't know that you need to haul out. We can shove all that snow up into one big giant pile. Got all that snow into about a quarter of the space that it was in before. And that saved them a whole bunch of money. Hauling snow out gets pretty darn expensive pretty quick. Just there's a lot of time that goes into it. I can't take all the snow at my property because I frankly have trouble finding room for all my own snow this year. We're only a few inches away from breaking a seasonal snowfall record, so basically I gotta pay for a place to dump it. A lot of time goes into it. You gotta haul equipment over, then you gotta come back with a trailer to haul it, and then you gotta pay to dump it. You gotta take it out of town to somebody that's got an empty lot. They're willing to sell space to dump snow at. So gets to be awful time consuming, which in turn turns into awful expensive. So we were able to save them a whole bunch of money by being able to just kind of restack it and push it up and make a whole lot more room. Hopefully we're not going to be dealing with snow too much longer here this year. We're over halfway through March here now. Now I did that job a couple weeks ago. That would have been like the first week of March. So hopefully we're going to be done with snow here pretty soon. It is getting warmer and things are starting to melt a little bit. So hopefully we'll be done with snow here pretty soon. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe down below. Thank you. Have a great day.